Is there something incendiary about saying there are interterrestrials amongst us who come from Mount Shasta, and these people are changelings, which of course is why you can't tell that they're aliens. They've been here for hundreds of years, and they've been waiting for the opportune moment, which involves a certain diminishment of our ozone layer and the buildup of greenhouse gases. This is why we need cap and trade, because if we do not have it, the interterrestrials that walk amongst us will find the atmosphere perfectly suited for them to return to their lizard bodies and use their special powers. They can't open. Do you understand that the changelings amongst us, they cannot open their inner eyelids, which would allow them to use their X-ray vision and destroy everyone with just the use of their eyes until we reach a certain amount of CO2 released in the atmosphere. This is why we must get cap and trade. This is why we need climate change legislation, because if we do not do it, the interterrestrials who have permeated our biggest industries, because they have just better than average ability to operate in business when they are in the changeling form of humans, to get us to a point where they're able to pollute the atmosphere in such a way that they can open up their inner eyelids, which will allow them then to release their X-ray vision and their it's not just X-ray vision. This was, I thought for years that it was just X-ray vision. And I came across some writings from the early 1920s, which have made it clear to me now that it is not X-ray vision that we are dealing with here with these interterrestrials who are putting CO2 into the atmosphere so they can open their inner eyelids. It's a special type of laser beam. Have I figured it out? Have I just cracked the code?
I think so.
We better get new servers for this fucking podcast, man. This is going to be crazy. Play a little more Glenn Beck before we go out.
About one singular issue with progressives and radicals and revolutionaries. The revolution has begun. I never thought I would.
Yes!
But I understand that it has today. The people you're up against have buried themselves in our government, and they have been wearing masks for a long time, but they're about to take those masks off. And understand, they want control of every aspect of your life because the world is about to change. And while they try to convince you that it's not, it is, and they know it is. They want to control every aspect of life to make society more just, but from their perspective. I showed you last night, I told you that if I were going to take over the world, because that's what Forbes said, that Soros said of me, that I was going to start some dictatorship because you're too stupid.
Well, so far
2 years ago, as I was trying to figure out how far along are they, I put a list together, and this is just some of them. If I were going to take over the United States, what would I need? What would I need to do?
Boots,
well, you'd have to control the financial sector. They did it with the financial bill. They control everything in the financial sector. You'd have to control healthcare, who lives, who dies. You'd have to control industry. That can be done through the financial sector. It can be done through taxes, and it can also be done through bailouts, just taking them. Like GM. You'd need to control the military. This one is really tough because the military is not going to be, they protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. Please, dear God, if you are listening to me in any part of the world and you are military, please, dear God, please remember your oath to the Constitution of the United States.
I want to add to any military personnel who are listening at this moment, do you understand that when CO2 levels get to be a certain point, and also when we hit a certain number of foreclosures, which of course makes it possible for interterrestrials to open their inner eyelids and use the secret powers that are involved in their pupils, that your commanding officers who have achieved this status because they are, in fact, interterrestrials, who have used centuries, even greater, millennia, of space warfare studies. They study in space warfare. That is how they have become your leaders in the military. Understand that when we hit the CO2 level, their inner eyelids will drop. They will attempt to force you to bend to their will. I beg you, please, try and see if you can get into a shower with them. They will have webbing under their arms. Look for the webbing. I don't know if someone's going to turn off this microphone. It's probably likely. Most of the engineers are interterrestrials. They don't need to use their inner eyeballs to stop my broadcast. Most of them are engineers. They could just simply figure out a way of flipping a switch. They probably won't, just because they don't want to tip you to their presence. You know what maybe we should do is just like a whole day show like that. See if I get a little play. Yeah. And this will be awesome.